Hey guys, this is Moriarty.
And the Crypto Spook.
And today we're taking a look at a pre-release version of In Case of Emergency Release Raptor.
Which sounds awesome.
It's a game about playing as a dinosaur and being a raptor. That's kind of the whole thing about it. They have said that what they want to do is make it so that it feels like being an actual dinosaur.
I would maybe like to be a dinosaur. Oh, that's some very loud music they've got there.
And there aren't really a whole lot of options for it at this point.
So you are in fact a raptor.
Like a literal
third
raptor.
person raptor. Ooh, this is pretty.
This is a Unity game, and they managed to make it pretty, yeah.
It's gorgeous.
I like the raptor look too. They actually, if you take a look, they gave it feathers.
Feathers? I'm not seeing the feathers. Oh, that's what, so they're not supposed to be scales, they're feathers.
Yes, so in the actual game, again, keep in mind that this is alpha gameplay. In the actual game itself, you can die. In the alpha, you cannot die. So it just kind of keeps track of how many people hit you and how many are left, with the overarching goal being to kill them all with as few hits as possible.
So, you are a pretty big critic of video games when it comes to fire. What would you say, how do you feel about Unity Engine's portrayal of fire?
I think it's okay. It's not going to be Unreal and id Tech. They definitely have a much better fire, but Unity's okay. It's okay. When, for example, if you look at some of the glowing robots that show up throughout the maps, they use the same sort of system as the fire system, so it's okay.
I think it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. This game is supposed to be a stealth game. They don't really seem to have a whole lot of stealth elements in it yet, but I can see how they might. When you walk into shadows, for example, everything brightens up a little bit, so you can kind of see how they might have a stealth mechanism there for you to be hiding in the shadows. Again, this one doesn't have it yet. I don't see a lot of dinosaur games.
I don't think I've ever seen a dinosaur game except for Turok.
Oh, there are out there. You've got Ark Survival.
True, but in none of those games you actually play a dinosaur.
Yeah, typically you're not playing a dinosaur, that's true. Or you're hunting dinosaurs or something along those lines. And so they do have a game which is kind of unique in that you get to play as a dinosaur.
If I remember correctly, what they said is that we realized there was no game that was third-person dinosaur-oriented, so they just kind of Rule 34'd it and made a third-person dinosaur game.
Yep, and it's alright. Obviously, the version that we have isn't perfect. The early release is going to come out on the 25th. I fully expect that they'll have a new update that will introduce, for example, a story of some sort, that will introduce the different modes that they're talking about. There's supposed to be a mode where you can't get hit, and there's supposed to be another mode where it's like a time trial, kill as many as you can as fast as you can, and see how many times you can not get hit.
Yeah, I kind of feel like you should have a dinosaur reticle at this point.
A dinosaur
reticle? So you know where you're about to pounce.
It's difficult, and I'm not sure if it's the right kind of difficult. I will say that. It is difficult because it's difficult to escape the bullets. There are so many flying at you. Not necessarily difficult because there's any real difficulty. And of course, the robots almost perfectly aim at you. Every single time. They're going to have you almost perfect.
Now, I wonder if you take any explosive damage from that.
You take no damage from hitting the robots. You take no damage from explosions. The only thing that hurts you is the projectiles that they're shooting at you.
Okay, the lasers.
Yeah. I found myself using one ability for every single occasion. For movement, for attack, for everything. I just used the jump ability. As I played this game more and more, I stopped using anything other than the jump ability. I didn't even walk anymore. It goes so far, and it is the only thing that you can use to attack an enemy from range.
And there's no cooldown.
And there's no cooldown. I just spammed it the entire time.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I expect that that's going to be eventually a game breaker, simply because all you're going to want to do is just use that button all the time. It allows you to attack faster than they can shoot at you. It allows you to move faster than they can get to you. It allows you to do everything quicker and farther.
I don't see why you wouldn't. I mean, I really don't know. Can you jump upwards with it, or is it only lateral?
You can jump up.
Just not with that effect.
No. I will say this. It's not easy to not get hit.
Were you attempting to not get hit?
Yes, I was actively trying not to be hit by the lasers, and I still managed to get hit 6 times.
I'm trying to think of any game that this reminds me of, and I am drawing a blank. I will agree, this is an untapped market segment.
It reminds me of absolutely nothing. And I recently found out, actually, that there are people who play exclusively dinosaur games.
Oh, well look at that, you found your market segment.
Right? I didn't even know that. These are people who stream and watch and play exclusively dinosaur games. So I had no idea, and you're right, I can't think of anything this reminds me of. Maybe, if we go really far back, it kind of reminds me of, what's it called? I want to say it's Savior, the game where you're a baby and you can jump into people. You're a baby angel.
I have no idea.
Messiah. It's called Messiah. It very vaguely reminds me of Messiah, simply because of the worlds that you're in. The atmosphere and environments look not so much about the actual gameplay, but even, the lighting feels like Messiah. That's probably not something that this game company wants to hear, because Messiah was a huge critical and commercial failure.
Yeah, I can imagine them not wanting to hear that.
But I still have that when I see this game. It's the first thing I came up with. It's the first thing that reminded me, and other than that, I have absolutely nothing that I'm reminded of.
Well, so when you said that there is a subset of the population that exclusively plays dinosaur games, the only thing that made me think of is there's a comedy writer for the Marine Corps by the name of Maximus Uriarte, and he does what's called Terminal Lance, and apparently he is obsessed with dinosaurs as well. And like Jurassic Park's his favorite movie, I'm wondering if maybe this game is the game that Terminal Lance has been looking for.
I tell you what, we're going to have to go ahead and send him a copy of our video, and maybe he'll look at it and go, this is the game for me, and he can explain that a little bit more. I wanted to get a dinosaur game expert in on this.
I can't say I've ever heard that statement.
I actually found a dinosaur game expert. His schedule was simply too full to come on. But I wanted to get somebody to come in there and look at it a little bit, and I'm kind of sad we didn't get to, but this is in case of emergency release Raptor. It's wholly unique. There's nothing like it.
I will agree that it appears to be a very unique game, and I would have to see a more fleshed out product to make any type of recommendations about whether or not I want to play it. In its current state, it doesn't seem like there's very much for me to do in the game, so I'm going to say I would pass on it at this time.
I would pass on it in its current form, but the press kit that they sent along with the game does lay out what they plan on doing with their general release. I think the general release, or at least the early access release, will be a lot more fun. There will actually be a game there. I think that if you looked at this video and you said, oh, that kind of looks cool, that you should pick it up. It's going to be a cheaper game, and you might as well be able, just pick it up and play it. And I think you'll get a couple hours of fun out of it.
Alright guys, well that was In Case of Emergency Release Raptor. Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Until the next one.